miles and miles for a little village like this, when an independent installation would make more sense. And you're an example. It makes more sense to have a diesel generator here than to bring a line. It makes even more sense. And now that you have this infrastructure, this grid, to think about putting more wind and solar electricity to reduce the amount you are dependent on diesel. Water pumping can be done directly with solar electricity. This is a great application, irrigating farmlands and pumping domestic water. These are some pumping applications in various parts of the world. Small businesses, single solar panel can let a family have food service and sell food products, can light a small business to attract customers, or in this case, make a charging station for batteries. People bring in their batteries from their remote homes, and this is similar to a system that Blue Energy has installed in healthcare is an important application. Vaccine refrigeration, lighting for operating rooms, for examination rooms, and for other medical equipment. And telecommunications. Many remote sites where solar electricity and wind electricity can be used to power transmitters for cell phones, for television, for radio, for emergency communications. Lighting for signs and other small applications. This is an electric fence charger for keeping animals, cows or other animals in a fenced area. And small lighting applications. These are street lamps in a rural village that are powered by a small solar panel and a battery. And of course, micro applications like calculators and watches and other very small applications. These actually, in the early years of solar electricity, were the biggest users of solar electric panels. And we've gone beyond that, thankfully. So we'll look briefly at the components involved in a solar electric system. And we can point to them here. So a solar cell is magic, I gotta say. It's a beautiful magic thing that scientists invented using sand, silicon, and some dopants, some other materials. When the sun shines on it, it makes electricity, and it really is magical and simple. We put these cells together into a panel or a module. We put modules together into what we call an array, a group of modules. They charge a battery, and the battery and the solar electric panel are direct current devices, like the battery in your car. They're not alternating current like the plug in your house. We have a controller right here. And the main job of this controller is to keep the battery from being charged too much. So when your battery's full, the controller says, look, we've got to turn off the solar panel. You have to open up the circuit. And then we have an inverter, which changes the direct current from the battery into alternating current, DC to AC. And then to the utility grid. And when you are making more energy than you're using, the energy goes on to the grid and your neighbors can use it. And when you're making less energy than you're using, you use some energy from the grid. That's exactly the sort of systems that could work very well here. If the political and social infrastructure could be set up. Technically, we have this equipment. We have inverters that will sell surplus energy to the grid, share energy between households and systems. I could imagine dozens or even hundreds of small systems on this island that are connected